Oh, hey, welcome back, Shop Rats. Today we're back on the Stitches Challenger. I'm evaluating the roof of the car to determine what needs to happen next. If you remember right, when we got this car, this roof was caved in because there was a car sitting on top of it in a salvage yard. We've got it popped back out, and for the most part, it's in good shape, but there's a few spots I'm trying to decide how to address. I know what I might do, I know what I should do. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So today, we're going to spend a little time and do some stripping and get this ground down to bare metal again and just take a good look at it. Let's watch the show intro. It takes 5 seconds. I'll meet you right on the other side. I'm Mike.
This is My Cars Shop.
There is a point with metal that once it's stretched so far, it's impossible, at least for me, with the tools and equipment that I have, to get it back into the shape that it should be. Now, we got one area right here that we'll look at, and we got another one back here. Here's the struggle I have. I don't like using mud, especially when it's thicker than, like just a thin layer. But the struggle that I have is this is going to be, it was and will continue to be a vinyl top car. How much work do I want to go to fix this metal and make it really good when I know a layer of tiger hair and it's going to be covered with vinyl anyway? Not that it wouldn't be flat, but so that's my struggle. We have a dent in the roof here that's a little bit more than I've been able to work out. I don't want to put glass in it, but it's definitely an option. We've got another area down here. This is kind of complex because there's a body line here. It's actually got a high spot. This must have been where the frame rail was. It's really creased right there, and I haven't really worked on that yet. So I need to just do some evaluating. But the first thing I want to do is just get this cleaned up and get this ground down. I did some of the grinding on this 4 years ago when we first got it in 2019. I never finished it. And I think it's a great project to at least get started on stripping off this, what was it called? Bonding primer or whatever that I was using with Rust-Oleum, and just getting a good hard look at exactly where we're at. It's really dirty from sitting in the shop, so I'm going to get the blowgun and blow this off, and then we're going to hit it with some super clean, just wipe it down to get it clean before we go at it with the grinder, just to get it cleaner and start with a better bottom line. Bottom line. I don't know. Start with yeah. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. Well, it's several hours and about 10, 12 grinding discs later, and I got the bulk of the roof done. There are definitely some spots I'm going to need to do some hammer and dolly work on. The one spot over there that where the big spot was, where it was crushed the worst, I'm thinking it's where the heel of probably the forklift that they put the other car on top of it when they put it down and then dragged it off. Um, that one, if I was painting the roof of this car, I mean, let's face it, the car really should have a roof put on it. So we're going to absolutely not do that because that wouldn't be in line with what we're doing with stitches. Don't get me wrong that if I absolutely had to buy a roof skin and put on it, then that's what we would do. But the whole point of this project is to see how well we can put this together, how nice of a car we can make end product for as cheaply as possible. Um, if you follow the costing on this project, we've got $2,700 into this car, total, complete, including the purchase price for the motor, the 4-speed, the clutch pedals, the shifters, quarter panels, hood hinges, dash components, rear bumper, tail lights, on and on and on the list goes. It's all somewhere. I have it all listed out. There's going to be a little more mud in the roof than maybe what I would like. I could do possibly a cut and butt on that one spot. I've thought about it. Here's the problem I've had with great big panels like that. Cut and butt is a little different, but when you're cutting into a big panel like that, you never know what's just going to go punk. I think I could get away with it with the cut and butt, even though that is a big, but I'm really, really, really reluctant. I'd rather live with a little more mud in it, especially because it's a vinyl top car. Um, it's a judgment call, and I know that, and I know I'm going to get flamed for this, but it's my car, and it's ultimately my decision. I'm probably going to do a little more hammer and dolly work. Then we'll make a decision on that. I also need to decide what product I'm going to use on the bare metal. There's still some pits and so forth in it. You don't sandblast something like that for sure. I am not sending it out to get it chemically done. I am not getting it media blasted. Um, I'm probably just going to rust treat it with some acid, do an acid etch on it, and then we'll just hit it with a good urethane and call it good. I could hit it with an epoxy. Is that going to really make much difference? Probably not. I've only ever used epoxy primer a couple times. So let me spin that. Well, let me talk about a couple things in here first, and then we'll spin the car back down so you can look at it. It is a dusty musty in here. Woo! The roof bow that holds the um, dome light, and it's supposed to be a brace for that roof, is really pretty bad on this car. I was thinking about taking it out and trying to straighten it. It just doesn't have a lot of strength in it. And I know what I've done in the past is just put some like a hardening 2-step epoxy in there, like what you would use to glue a hood, and that will firm that up. That probably is what I'll do, but I do need to clean the inside of this roof and get it painted with something to prevent it from rusting further. The nice thing about the inside is I won't be stripping it nearly as much. I'll be just wire brushing it down and then hitting it with a good rust converter and calling it good. We just want to prevent further deterioration, and with all rust, I don't need to worry about adhesion and so forth in here, so I don't need to be nearly as crazy about bringing it down to clean metal. But with all rust, as long as you can keep the oxygen from getting at it, it'll be better. I did buy some rod to go in here that I could run right along the side of this steel bar to reinforce that roof. I don't think I'm going to need to. I think this has enough integrity to it that if I can just squirt some of that 2-part stuff in there, that will do it. I'll show you what it is. I think I have some over in the drawer. Yeah, it would be something like this, and you have to have a special gun, but I think they offer this now where you don't have to have the special gun to squeeze it. But we'll get something like this to go in there. This hardens pretty hard. This is some stuff we used on the Charger. I'm pretty sure we didn't buy the caulking gun for this, but this type of thing anyway will go between that roof bow and the roof itself, and that should take that oil canning out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oops. So this is the spot I was talking about. As far as its depth, it's probably only like an 1/8 inch to 3/16. It looks worse than it really is. But in here, there's that oil canning, and that bothers me. I can't really push it. Yeah. Let's see if we could support that right there, probably right up in here. That would stop that. I suppose I could stick something in there and see what happens. I just stuck a couple of brass wedges in there, and it's much better. So I think what I'm going to do, oops, one of them just fell out. I think I need to break it into another project to get this roof reinforced before we can really attempt to do a final fix on this. Worst case scenario, I'm going to cut and butt a patch, which may not be a bad way to go. It's a risk, but worst case scenario is I screw it up completely and we have to buy a new roof, which I don't think we'll do. I'm usually pretty good at salvaging stuff. But I think I need to take the roof bow out of the car, straighten it, reinforce it, clean it up, clean up the area underneath it, of course. And I think that's the way to go. So let me look at what it's going to take to get that out of there. Maybe we'll get that much done today, and that'll give me time to ponder what I want to do with it. There it is. Straighten out the ends a little bit, but it's fine. And the thing I like now is I can make the contour exactly right now that it's out, match it to the roof, straighten it back out. If I need to, put a reinforcement across the back side of this inside, then you'd never even be able to see it, and put it right back in the car. And you can see where the factory glue was. So that glue I was talking about is nothing, abnormal. This was from the factory glue to support that roof. That's one big piece of sheet metal that has no ribbing or support. So I think what I want to do, we've definitely got a lot of job of work to do to straighten that out. I'm going to make that its own project. We'll break this down into bite-sized pieces as we always do. We'll get this all cleaned up. We'll get it straightened up, fabricate what we need to strengthen it. You can see it's got dents in it and everything. It's probably where the forks came into it when they moved the car, because the driver's door window was blown out from where the fork went into the car to pick it up. So it probably grabbed this thing and bent the heck out of it too. Anyway, so we'll make that its own project for its own episode. Yeah, very good progress. And this also, now that that's out of there, we'll make another project out of getting this roof wire brushed down real good, and we can get some rust treatment on that as well. I don't know that we're going to be able to hammer and dolly that out anymore. Like I said, it's pretty stretched. Another thought that I had, and this scares the hell out of me, is we could cut this, push that metal up in place and re-weld it. That would take that stretch out. It's just overstretched, and there's a point at which, in my opinion, you can't shrink metal back enough without doing some radical work to it. So here's what I see. There's a small dent there. That's nothing. A little bit there. That's nothing. It's pretty good shape. We've got that up there. Hard to see because of that glare. But that's that really crushed spot that cut and butt at the worst case, or slice and pie slice, but we want to have the brace on the inside. Everything else feels good. And there is one dent here I probably can hammer and dolly out, and we got another one right here. So I think we're going to break this down into some bites. I think the most important thing, the first thing to do is to get, you can see that one dent right there. It's not big, but we may be able to pop that one out of there. Oh, it's bigger than I thought. But yeah. So anyway, let me see where that rod is that I bought for reinforcement. Yeah, it's right here. I slipped it inside of the pipe anvil. So I think that'll be our Yeah, I'm thinking this is the way to go for sure. Well, I tell you, this is a better way to burn up part of a day, that's for sure. Now I can come out here and tink away at it. I got a better handle on it. I didn't have this half of the roof stripped before anyway, so I was feeling good. I'm thinking about what rust product I want to use on this. I'm wondering about, I know my friend Kim from up in Canada, I can't remember the name of her shop, but I'll try to remember to insert it here. Um, she mentioned a rust converter that she uses that's a professional grade. I thought about Eastwood's rust encapsulator. You know, for underneath stuff, I've just been using that Rust-Oleum or the Loctite rust converter, and it's fine. But I feel like I want to use something a little bit heavier here on this, where I'm going to be top coating it with professional grade products. And ultimately, this car, well, the roof is going to be vinyl, so that's not going to have a top coat on it per se, although it will, but it won't. But still, having something on there that I feel is a good quality product and that I can top coat over. So we'll see about that. But I'm going to be able to come out here now and tink away at this. I'm exhausted. My arms are absolutely killing me. I can't believe I used to do this every day, day after day after day. I'm out of shape.
Well, I guess round is a shape.
The reality is, in doing a project like this, that's just not cookie cutter stuff. You're not just gluing together a model with brand new parts. At least for me, I like to have some time to think about it, especially since thinking is hard and I'm not very good at it and it hurts. But just to make a decision and be comfortable with that decision and make sure you're having the right approach. I mean, we're in no rush, yet visibly, when we get this in black primer, it's going to radically change this car. Now we have the piece that's in here is really shot. Bird's Do It Yourself Garage is a YouTube channel, a friend of mine. He's got this part out of one of the the Challenger that he owns when he was young. He rolled it and they put a new roof on it, I think is the reality of that story. So he's got this piece. And another thing is, our back window is completely wasted as far as the metal around the back window. So we have got one whale of a job to fabricate this rear window channel and get that right. That's another piece, but I'm breaking that away from this part. I want to get the roof done, reinforced. I may even want to go ahead and get my tiger hair in it and get this in something closer to being finished. The visual appeal is emotionally encouraging, and if you're feeling good about the project, if you're seeing visible change, if you're seeing visible improvement, then you're going to want to keep working at it. Just like we put the dash and the steering column in, we're not done with that part of the project yet. And yes, I made sure everything is clean and all that dust didn't get all over everything. And don't worry about it, it's fine. I'm not going to undo all my good work, and I blew it off real good when we're done. But anyway, we also need to go around to our windshield channel. We got spots up in there. We got spots in the cowl. If you start thinking about every bite you have to take, you're going to choke. So focus on a bite, focus on a bit. I felt like this is a good place to start getting my energy back on this car. I know I need to finish those floor pans. We're going to take a day when I feel like welding, and we're going to get that done soon. But I'm having some fun, just like we did with the dash part. I'm having some fun focusing back on the roof, which I haven't really touched since 2019. All right, I need to go edit a whole bunch of video, and I got a bunch of things to do, and I got stuff I got to do to get ready for work tomorrow, and I got dinner to make, and there's just a bunch of stuff. So that's what it's like around here when you spend the day with me here in the shop. We accomplish what we accomplish. I share my thought processes. I share what I'm doing, and you get to see progress made on the projects. That'll do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. Don't forget.
Rock!